I just feel like my hat is so tight. What is happening to my hat? Whatever. Okay. Why are my folders open? It's good to be back. It's good to be reviewing books again. And one Remy Award later. Okay, enough flexing. It took me 6 months to read this book. And that's because I'm lazy. It's 1,200 pages. I have the complete and uncut edition. This is literally the same book. You just get, I don't know, 200 to 400 extra pages. You get a lot of extra pages of notes, of character stories, backgrounds. Let's do what everyone already knows what I do. I'm gonna craft a little trailer, write my own kind of synopsis of the plot, and try to make this book feel as enticing as possible. I'm currently watching The Stand, the show, and it is nowhere near as good as the book as anybody who's read a book would say about the adaptation in the film, but it is better than I had expected, and so I'm actually enjoying it. With that being said, here is The Stand by Stephen King. It's during the summer of 1990 when Captain Trips, an airborne virus, strips the world of 99% of the population. Following the story of several main characters, King builds a world of death and decay, where the trials and tribulations of a post-human era will test the very thing that makes anyone human. When our heroes begin to dream of the dark man Randall Flagg, they also have one of Mother Abigail Freeman. Both represent a very different idea of humanity, both seeking their own form of a new world. It is up to the remaining humans, however, to decide which side to stand with.
She brought us all together, keep us safe in these uncertain times.
As our characters find their way across the continental United States, Randall Flagg begins to build his army. With a strong set of minds willing to cooperate, ordinary men find themselves taking orders from extraordinary evils. A collective group of survivors who chose the light in seeking Mother Abigail's guidance. Together they choose to reinstate the old ways, crafting a government, reinstating laws, turning the power back on, and having normal lives. But when Mother Abigail returns from a lost visit into the arms of God, she comes back with an important message. One that will task a chosen few to head west and make their final stand. So Stephen King is a famous writer and one for very good reason. However, this is now my second book of his, and the first one was The Outsider. So that was one of his newer ones, but I wanted to read a classic King novel. And I thought The Stand would have been the best choice. And I think it was the best choice. I don't know. I haven't read it or The Shining. I haven't read any of his other books, but I think The Stand was a really good one to start off with. Here's the thing with Stephen King. His characters, his evil characters, in my opinion, are ones that have no root in humanity. I think that there's also an argument to be said that they casted their humanity aside, and that's what's crafted evil. But there's a quote, and I can't remember his name, but the quote says that the line separating good and evil passes not through states or classes or political parties, but right through every human heart. We're rooting characters in some way to the very idea that they're human at foundation, at base, and that we all have potential for good and evil. And in Stephen King's novels, where it's just monsters, but then again, that's what King is. So I don't exactly know what I'm griping about here, but these evil characters, I had a hard time really relating to, and I know that's weird, but I love relating to the antagonist. So that's my biggest gripe with Stephen King, and I feel like I just went in on that. But so another thing is the fact that Stephen King, in this book, he crafted a world that made you feel, I felt indoctrinated with the idea that I too am sick. I'm in a world where everyone's sick. I mean, I literally started The Stand toward the end of COVID, so I could understand the mass hysteria that went on. I can understand the way people would like feel if you coughed. So building this world, it was incredible to see, incredible to read about. It was done so well, so eloquently, and the characters that come about and the way they choose which side they want to be on really made sense. And it also just made the whole book more believable. All in all, Stephen King's world building abilities is second to none. He's at the top of the top. I think that to completely close this chapter of this year with Stephen King, I need to read one more. The Green Mile. I think that to fully close out this summer chapter of Stephen King, I need to read The Green Mile, and I need to do it this week, and I need to review it immediately to really get an idea of Stephen King's writing. Anyway, so I appreciate those of you sticking around and watching this episode of I Read, You Read. Books are really somewhere that I can kind of, a bit of relaxation, a bit of me time. Bit of me time. A bit of me time. Fuck.